Look, I didn't even take a sip yet. This is the large. I haven't been there in like a month. A&W here. I could turn the camera. You could see the staff that are kind of laughing about me because I'm mentioning what no other customers does, which is their machine is never filling the drinks to the top. Over $5 for this smoothie. And I say, well, what if the other A&Ws don't have that problem? And of course, they're looking at me like there's something wrong with me, and that's typical. It's typical people primate homo communio behavior. Like I can turn the camera here and point at one lady's Japanese. She's never been in Japan. The other's Filipino, and they're laughing. They're laughing because to them, who have very low standards, there's something wrong with me. Because these are solvable issues, and some other NWs might solve them. I'll talk to my manager. He's still laughing. I'll talk to my manager, and we'll get it sorted out, which they don't. And if they do, their manager doesn't care, right? Because I'm the only customer that complains that the glass is not full. This is the most fake, I would say, community that I've been to so far. It's like everybody's fake. Last week, I got excited about a couple of jobs that I was likely to get, but like if I show you the emails about how ridiculous it is, the responses from people in charge, it's so sad. One person told me recently, my personality is hard to digest, and when I judge people for not making human decisions and engaging in human behaviors as defined by sentience and sapience, then the person said, I'd rather be a pond scum. And I'm not sure why they're saying that. I said, why are you saying that about yourself? And because they're defensive. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about what they know is the norm. And then they're defending the low standards of the norm by saying, I'd rather be like that. And so it's a defensive mechanism. And later in the conversation say, well, I'll be dead, so it'll be my kids' problems. So, everybody proves me right, except that they make me the villain for it, that they haven't undergone their maturation process, that they don't do the right thing, that they complain about problems but point the finger at somebody else while they engage in that behavior, which is unhealthy, and it's pretty sad. I was telling that same person, I said, do you know how much courage it takes to suffer from species alienation? To suffer from a disappointment in my species that is apparent, if you're an Homo sapien, that you'd be disappointed in this as a collective consensus that is so below human standards from everyone. I'm reading some graphic novel about colonialism and what our government did, to the First Nations and how they're responding, and each one is saying, this is our law and it's right, except that it's still subhuman. It's still limited. There's still ethnocentrism. They're still both judging themselves incorrectly by being busy judging the other, and nobody evolves. But it's the same thing that's happening today. Like happening today, the same conversations that you see in this graphic novel about, McDonald, Prime Minister McDonald, is the same thing that's happening in conversations today. It's just people that are unable to reference the real world and to engage in behaviors or thoughts that are related to sentience and sapience, even less than back then, really. At least back then there was goals, there was organization about achieving something, even though they were wrong and they were sick about the ways they were wrong. So I'm going to leave this community soon again, and it's nice I have money not to be stuck here 8 months like I was in Castlegar, and I have my discount pass at the pool. Didn't use it once. Don't even want to use it. Like I feel offended or disrespected just coming close to that building. The behaviors from the staff is like I have to suffer human rights violations, breach of my privacy, insults, acquire expenses just to get a discount, and to just be triggered just by showing up, just the behaviors. The last time the lady said, your special needs. What are my special needs? To not be offended, to not be disrespected, to not have people say private things about me in front of other patrons. as if they understand the concept of privacy or discreet. And everybody thinks, oh, we did our cross there. You got your discount card, we closed the file, done, took the picture, you got your card. They don't get, like, I don't even want to be there. I don't even want to give you the privilege to hear me sing karaoke here in this community, or to, be without my shirt and have you enjoy that at the pool. Like, it's the same thing with BC Ferries. Is you pay 90 cents on the dollar in expenses to save 10 cents on the dollar. At least I played badminton for free, but I gave coaching for free. So in a way, if you do the math of the value of things, they'd owe me money. So, it depends how you see things. You might say, well, Martin, you might have got an expense to get, but you didn't even pay badminton. Well, no offense, but I wouldn't always call what was happening there badminton. And people are kind of happy I'm coaching them, and they won't even. A few of them got my email, and none of them will email me when I don't show up for a while, and they notice. And because, that takes kind of community or human behaviors to have conversations, to know I was about to leave, or to be in touch with me using the internet, although they all have computers and phones, and say, hey, where are you? Like, nobody can do this stuff. And people keep pointing the finger at me. Is there something wrong with me because I'm not like the norm, which is devolving at an accelerated pace? So it's quite sad to live among you, and I'm quite happy that I'm going to leave a place where I can get donations of food or do free laundry sometimes, but that's everywhere, those places. And the quality there of, the serious lack of food safe is just better to go somewhere else to get free food. And I don't even eat a lot. Like, I can go with so little food and still function better at badminton, or at working, or at thinking, or reading, or conversations than most of you. And yet, this is not stuff you notice. This is not stuff say, hey, how did you achieve this? How are you capable of living on such a low budget? Like, for example, the potlatch concept is a lot about giving gifts, right? And hopefully not destroying property. Sometimes, supposedly, that's the custom, as a way to kind of, be respected, or gather, elitist points in a tribe or whatever. But the concept of giving and then re-giving that same thing is good. Like, I tried this with an ex-girlfriend where I gave some DVDs of movies me and her son enjoyed to him, and then I hinted he would give it back to me when it's my birthday. And she's not for that at all. A gift is a gift. You don't get it back. So, like, material possessions, it's a sickness. And I don't know, teaching things to you is just a waste of time. And just the triggers I accumulate in Canada, which is not the worst country in the world. I'd rather be poor in another country. I'd rather have more worries about where the next food's going to come from in another country, especially if it's one that lets me volunteer as part of the solution. And again, it takes a lot of courage to say that's not okay, when at this point of the Anthropocene, 99.9 something % of the people think the behaviors that are happening, which they are also engaging in, are okay, and that they think that they are okay to be pond scum because they belong to a big tribe that they're happy with, which is a tribe of a failed species that is destroying the paradise on Earth.